Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and this is June manga releases part 2. Just a mixed assortment of manga releases. I haven't done every single one, obviously, that would take too long. But the first one, as you can see, is The Horizon by Yen Press, and this is going to be released on the 20th of June. This is set in a world where everything has been lost. A boy and girl meet and decide to travel together alone, and they keep walking on this road. But they're kind of up against broken adults and despair, so how long will they be able to keep going? I've heard very good things about this book, and it's supposed to be quite grim, so let me know if you've read it and would recommend it. Next we have Drifting Dragons Volume 13. This is by Kodansha, and this series is about the crew of an aircraft called Quinzaza, and they fly the skies looking for dragons to hunt. And in this volume, they're on a quest for a second core ballast to complete the Quinzaza Mark II. Then we have Sotus Volume 2, also released on the 20th of June. And Sotus is a system where upperclassmen impose trials upon underclassmen. And Arthit is the leader of the engineering seniors, and he plans to put his new juniors through a harsh training regime to earn the symbol of their major, the Aith gear. But the more Kongbob spends time with him, the more he realises Arthur isn't quite the fearsome leader he makes himself out to be. So to see where this goes, you might want to go pick this up. Viz are releasing Freerun Beyond Journey's End Volume 8 this month. The cover is beautiful, and this series follows an elf mage after the big heroic adventures already happened, and it's more about her journey to understand what living means, which she hasn't really grasped yet due to her being nearly immortal. And right now she's in a place where she once travelled with her legendary companions, the Northern Plateau, and it's a wild place teeming with monsters and other dangers. And a demon lord of exceptional ability stands in their way, so how will her new friends cope with this challenge? And then we have Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. This is a new series from Yen Press, and it's about a shy haiku writer who wears headphones to keep people at a distance, and a streamer who always hides behind a mask. After their worlds suddenly collide, these two strangers, they kind of find themselves sharing secrets that they've been desperate to keep under wraps. And their methods of self-expression couldn't be more different, but they'll find that they understand each other better than they ever expected. And that is out on the 20th of June. And then Fire Force Volume 33. Most of you probably already know this, but it's set in a world where people have started to self-combust, seemingly at random. The Fire Force are there to clear up. And in this volume, the evangelist's true identity is revealed, and I will say no more. But if you want to know who he really is, then that'll be on the 20th of June. And Alice in Borderland Volume 6 is also coming out this month. And this follows a guy called Ryohei Arisu, who is transported into an alternate world where games are literally life and death. And in this volume, they continue to try and get the upper hand against an opponent who beats them no matter what strategy they try. But I really don't want to say more than that because massive spoilers. And next we have a new series from Yen Press, Bloody Sweet, Volume 1. And one eerie night, in an old abandoned church, a girl called Nairim accidentally breaks the seal of an ancient vampire who starts following her around like a hyper little puppy. So it may not be your typical vampire story, but for Nairim, who's a victim of school bullying, this vampire Vlad, his manic energy might just be what she needs to regain her smile. I think this sounds like a really lovely series, so I am interested in picking it up. If you've already picked it up, could you please let me know in the comments below what you think of it? Thank you. And then we have Something's Wrong With Us Volume 15, and this is a steamy romance from Kodansha. It's between a Japanese sweets maker and the man who framed her mother for murder. This volume is called The Murderer Revealed, so we are getting closer to the end of this 19-volume series. And then we have Unnamed Memory Volume 3. This is from Yen Press, and it's a series which starts out with Oscar, who's the crown prince of a powerful kingdom, and he was cursed as a young boy to never sire an heir. Hoping to break the magic, he sought out Tinashe, the strongest witch on the continent. And in this volume, Tinashe must face a threat she once thought was in the past, a fearsome beast sealed away by her a long time ago. Then we have Insomniacs After School Volume 2. This is a Viz release, and in this volume the school forces the Insomniacs reformed astronomy club to operate as a proper club. The problem is, neither Nakami, its new president, nor the club's advisor know a thing about astronomy, so the hunt for someone who does know about astronomy is on. If you want to read that, that's coming out on the 20th of June. And then we've got Handyman Saito in Another World Volume 1. So this is a new series from Yen Press and about an unremarkable handyman called Saito. He's unhappy with his job, which involves a salary that barely pays the bills and an ungrateful boss. But then he finds himself in another world. There he meets Raelza, a strong and beautiful female warrior with a prickly attitude, Morlock, a dirty old man and a powerful wizard who keeps forgetting his spells, and La Fanpan, a cute but greedy fairy. So together with his companions, Saito goes dungeon crawling in search of riches, and it's kind of nice. He starts feeling what it's like to be needed for the first time. So if you want to start reading that new series, it's out on the 20th of June. And then we have Though I Am an Inept Villainess, Tale of the Butterfly Wrap Body Swap in the Maiden Court, Volume 3. And that was a mouthful. This story sounds like a lot of fun. It's set in a kingdom inspired by historical China, and 5 clans put forth their maidens as royal consorts, but only one can be crowned empress. And our main character, Ko Reirin, is frail but considered most likely to marry the crown prince. The maiden, considered the court rat, swaps bodies with her, and Reirin is kind of thrilled to have a robust new body. She's quite excited, but she kind of does need to get this problem sorted, so keep reading to find out if she does. Then we got The Splendid Work of a Monster Maid Volume 5, and this series follows Sumire, a Nekomata phantom who has lost her master. She wanders alone until she stumbles into a foreign demon world, and there she becomes an employee of the Circeum Domestic Staffing Agency, where she works for the Crown Prince. And here things have spiraled out of control into an all-out brotherly battle royale, as the Crown Prince and the Demon King each struggle to absorb the other and bring an end to their feud once and for all. If you want to find out how that goes, it's out on the 20th of June. And then we've got Requiem of the Rose King, Volume 17. This is loosely based on a Shakespearean play, and this story follows Richard III during the time of the War of the Roses, which was when Lancashire and Yorkshire were at war with each other. The last volume was released in November 2022, so it feels like quite a long wait to get this volume, but the art is beautiful, so definitely one to pick up. So that's out on the 20th of June as well. And then we've got The Remarried Empress Volume 3. This series follows an empress called Navier Elie Trovi, who is considered to be perfect in every way. Kind to her subjects, devoted to her husband. Then one day her husband brought home a mistress and demanded a divorce. She accepted it, but with the caveat that she would receive an approval to remarry. And in this book there are secrets and schemes everywhere, and Navier's love interest receives bad news about his family. So will this affect their growing relationship? What He Who Doesn't Believe in Fate Says, Volume 1. And this is a new romance series from Seven Seas with a supernatural edge. So a guy called Kosuke can see the red string of fate that connects soulmates. Fortunately, he's fallen in love with Yuka, and her string doesn't lead to him. He hides his feelings for her until one day a fortune teller gets involved. Apparently, the red string of fate will be in colour throughout this black and white manga, which sounds like a really, really cool idea. And then we've got A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom, Volume 1. It's about a girl called Sena Shirai, who is a bit of a shut-in, but on her 18th birthday, she finally works up the courage to leave the comfort of her home. After a stroke of misfortune, she is reborn as a witch in another world, but the only spells she can use are explode and perish. Unable to control her destructive power, Senna is shunned by the nearby villagers and doomed to live in isolation once again, until a mysterious boy collapses at her doorstep. So how will things change now? And then we've got Homunculus Omnibus, and this series is by Hideo Yamamoto, who also did Ichi the Killer. This omnibus edition contains volume 1 and 2 of the series. This is about a guy called Nakoshi Susumu, who is a 34-year-old who lives in his car. When he's hit with another blow, he agrees to undergo a strange surgical procedure in exchange for money. To find out how this affects him, go pick up this supernatural horror manga. I've heard some really good things about it. And then we've got Blue Lock Volume 7. This is going to be released on the 27th of June, and I'm sure many of you now already know the premise. It's a mad coach who gathers soccer players from across the country to compete in a series of bizarre challenges. But if you get knocked out, you can never play professionally again. So the stakes are high for these teenagers, and our team is up against King Barrow again in this volume. So go find out what happens. Shangri-La Frontier Volume 6. This is from Kodansha, and it follows second-year high school student Rakuro Hizutome. He prefers to play trash games and then just wins them. But one day he decides to play a new kind of god-tier VR game known as Shangri-La Frontier. And he does what he usually does. He skips the prologue, jumps straight into action, and that is probably not the best idea in this case. And in this volume, the truth about the world is revealed to Sunraku, and the struggle against the Black Wolf continues. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go pick it up. We've got the case files of Jeweler Richard, Volume 5. Seigi Nakata, a Japanese economics student, is working at the shop of the beautiful jeweler, Richard Ranasinghe de Vulpian, after saving him from a bunch of drunkards. And this series is kind of a bunch of standalones. In each volume, there's a new mystery to be solved revolving around jewels. Today's customers are an elderly couple who are celebrating their 30th anniversary, but something seems off about this cute couple. This is Tokyo Revengers Omnibus, and this includes volumes 11 and 12 of the series and contains a Christmas brawl. But that's all I'm going to say about this series. If you love stories involving gangs and time travel, this is for you. And it's going to be released on the 27th of June. And then we've got Spriggan Deluxe Edition Volume 4. So this is the final deluxe edition of the Spriggan series, which is about super soldiers and ancient mysteries. So for those who don't know, every Spriggan is a one-man army, an S-class special operative with unrivaled combat abilities. They're tasked with sealing away the dangerous relics of hyper-advanced ancient civilizations and are the last line of defense against global catastrophe. But lately, things are changing. A new boss has taken over, a ruthless American businessman whose uncompromising vision for world peace has no place for dissent, even if he has to kill his own people. So that's it for June, everyone. I hope there's something there for you to enjoy. So bye, happy spending, everyone. Bye.